Into your reading, I just wanted to show you the decks that your dad drew me to. I have these 7 here, and then this one he wanted to be like his main deck, which is my Tattoo Tarot deck. And also things that I saw were the number 13 and barbecues. If those make any sense to you, please let me know whenever you can, but let's get to your reading. This reading is for Colleen, who wishes to reach out to her father, John, who passed away at 62. Colleen, just so you're aware, in front of me is my portal box, which I have on in the event John wants to speak through it. I also have my digital audio recorder here to my right, in case John says something that we're not able to physically hear during the reading. So how I like to start off first is I like to see what kind of person John is or was when he was alive. He still is the same person, but I kind of just want to get to know him first, and then we're going to get to the questions, okay? Give me 5 cards, John. Make them pop out. One more card from this deck, John. Ooh. All right. Balance and harmony, charm and passion, decisions and direction, success and triumph, peace and healing. This is not only telling me what kind of person you are, John, but it's also telling me a story, because it ends with peace. Let me just get a few more cards, just because John particularly pointed out this deck that he wanted me to use, which is my Tattoo Tarot deck. So just give me a sec while I shuffle these to get more information for John. John, what kind of person were you when you were alive? What was your story? Give me 5 cards. Or try to give me just 5, because I know sometimes you guys can get pretty chatty. Ooh. See, sometimes when I shuffle, they pop out like this. I like to call these poppers, so I pick that out. Or sometimes they literally like fall out or jump at me. One more card, John. Unless you want to throw more in my face. Okay, well he popped out 2 more. Which means he's got a lot to say. John, before I flip these over, can you say hello to Colleen? Now again, even though we don't hear it out of the box, we might get it in the digital audio recorder, okay? Now firstly, before I get into the bottom cards, so with the top cards here that I see, when I asked John if he can just tell me what kind of person he was, I also saw a story that he was telling me. So he was a very passionate person. He seemed like he was very successful with the career choice or the path that he chose. He was very keen and not so like hard-headed, but he was very much like, if that's what I want, that's what I'm gonna get, because I'm gonna bust my ass to get there kind of attitude. And he's also very passionate too. He had this sort of charisma about him. And with the balance and harmony, I see him very much at peace. Specifically towards the end, especially with this peace card coming out, peace and healing. So he was very much proud of his accomplishments. financially as well as within his family. He's very proud of his family towards the end. I'm also seeing, I don't know if he's coming off as the type to not really want to share his emotions, but he very much was emotional, but he wasn't one to show it. It was there, but he wasn't one to show it so much. But I do see him laughing a lot. Like, I'm seeing and I'm hearing a lot of laughter. Oh, and one thing that I wanted to bring up, which I think I mentioned earlier, is I saw barbecues, like him on the grill, and just happiness. So that was probably like one of the biggest things that he loved to do, is specifically having the family there too, or even like his guys, like the boys. And I saw the number 13. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if something happened to you, Colleen, when you were 13 that involved your father. But we can further look into what that is later on. It might not make sense now, it might make sense later on. Usually some of the things that I see don't make sense at the time that I say it. They make sense later on. But I just want to let you know that's what I saw. Barbecues, the emotions going on with the barbecues. And then the number 13. All right, so let's get on to these cards. I'm terrible with Roman numerals, by the way. We have the 8 of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands upside down or reversed. 2 of Swords reversed. King of Cups reversed. The World reversed. Ooh, and we got the Devil as well. And don't be afraid of this card, okay? A lot of people see this and they're like, oh my God. Now let's see what we have here in relation with these two. Now with these cards, this is telling me more story of his life. And what I'm seeing and also what I'm feeling with reading these is he didn't have a very easy life growing up. It might have been something that looked like, appeared that it was, you know, all butterflies and happiness to others, but within himself, like with his own demons, so to speak, it seems like he had a rough time personally. There's a lot of closure, there's a lot of doubt here. There's a lot of emotions coming out too. There's a lot of I don't know. And then with the Devil card coming out, it's kind of in a sense where there was these temptations that were kind of like distractions that were getting in his way. But I felt like they were getting in his way on purpose. Kind of like they were testing him. So this is telling me that as he was growing up, this kind of feels like when he was younger to about early 20s is what I'm seeing. But I feel like he went through a lot when he was growing up. But as he got older, especially once his children started being born, that whole persona or that whole view on life switched. So it very much started really rough for him. But with the coming of his children, of his babies, it started changing the way he viewed things. It started changing the way he reacted or acted towards things, or how he took things to heart pretty much too. So there was a big change that happened within him. A big growth, so to speak. But I very much feel that it has a lot to do with his like children, especially when they were born. that brought more happiness and peace to him. And with his children being born, it felt like he had a big accomplishment. He was very proud. And with this card here, like I mentioned earlier, he was very much at peace when it came time for him to pass away. It's sort of like he's living through his children with what he wanted to do, or with what he wanted to continue to do. Does that make sense? I feel like you guys are very similar with a lot of the things that you did or are doing. But it feels a little sad because of what he had to go through when he was younger. Again, this could have been all internally. It could have been something that nobody saw. Because a lot of us are like that. Like, we appear to be happy and go lucky, but inside we're fighting our own demons. But he prevailed, clearly. Especially with you guys. All right, let's get to your questions. I don't want to start crying again. John, Colleen very much wants to hear from you. Can you say hi to her? Thank you. That was pretty clear, at least to me here physically. All right, Colleen, we're gonna get into your questions. The first question Colleen has for you, John, is if there's anything that you want to tell her. John, is there anything you want to tell Colleen? Oh my God, I'm terrible at shuffling. John, is there anything that you want to tell Colleen? Any message that you want to give her? Maybe something that just you and her would know? So Colleen, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle the decks that I have next to me and then just put them in a pile, and then we'll review it to see in the first pile if there's anything that John wants to tell you. So this is a pile of cards that I got for your first question, Colleen. The 10 of Challenges, the Seeker of Challenges, the Green Mother, the Orca, which represents song lines, the Swan for beauty, the Badger, which says fearless, or be fearless and bold. The Butterfly says transformation is beautiful. And then you have the Lynx, which is the keeper of secrets. Now, just to review all these cards as a whole for your first question, Colleen. So Colleen, with these cards out here, this is telling me that he's very much well aware of the hardships that you're going through and that you have been through, the exhaustion that you felt. He's also aware of where you're at now, at least when it comes to career-wise. You're on the right path, even though there's still that slight doubt. Like, you see how the horse is right here and how the knight got out of the, or off of the horse? They were on the path. They got off to think, is this really what I should be doing, where I should be going? So he's aware that you're having those difficulties, and he's bringing up your mom. He wants you to remain close to your mom, watch over her. He's watching over her too, but he wants you to just still stay close to her. There might be disagreements or things that you don't see eye to eye on, but he just wants to make sure that, you know, he's saying take care of your mother. I'm hearing him say that. Watch over your mother, take care of your mother. And even though you're having these hardships or these doubts in your head, he's very much saying that you are going on the right path, creating your songlines, creating your story, and he's seeing that you are growing up to be a very beautiful woman. He wants you to stay strong. Stay strong and bold. Keep that chin up. And he's well aware that you are going through a sort of transformational state. Transformation is a beautiful thing. And with the links here, there's a message of guidance on here. So the links is a keeper of secrets. And it says, take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. Now this in correlation with this part and the butterfly, he's telling me he needs you to have like girl time, or have a date to yourself. Does that make sense? Like, go do your thing, but on your own. Like, don't invite friends or anything like that. Just have like a me time. I feel like he did that a lot too. He had very much his own time. I don't know if he had a study or a garage that he was in a lot, where he kind of just had his own me time. But he understands that, you know what, sometimes we have to do those things to recharge, to not feel so exhausted with what we're going through in life. So he very much sees that you are on the right path. He sees that you're going up to be a beautiful person, a beautiful woman. He wants you to keep your chin up. He wants you to stay strong and to understand that you are going through that transformation. It's gonna be a difficult one if it hasn't started already, but it's worth it. Because as you saw earlier, he went through a traumatic transformation. And in the end, he saw it was worth it too. So I feel like that's the message that he wants to bring across to you. And also take care of your mama. Not to say that you haven't been, but he's just mentioning like, watch over your mom. So that's what I'm getting from these cards. Colleen, your next question for your dad is, what should you be doing differently? John, do you have anything you want to say to Colleen? Should she be doing anything differently than what she's doing now? Or is she on the right path? You told me earlier that in fact she is at this moment. But is there anything else that she should be doing differently? I'm being drawn to 2 decks, so let me go ahead and shuffle these, and then I'll bring out the cards. So I was drawn to 3 decks instead of 2. So just so you know, there is a spread that I found for a simple yes or no. And with that question, it comes off as a simple yes or no answer that you're looking for. But I asked for an elaboration from him based on his answer. So the way this works, just so you know, the major arcana cards are a yes, which is major arcana would be like the Tower, the Devil, the Empress, the Hierophant, pretty much the head honchos of the deck. So those would be yes. Doesn't matter if it's reversed or right side up. And all even number cards are yes. For no, it's all odd number cards and all court cards. The court cards would be the Page, the Knight, the King, and the Queen. So it would be a simple yes or no, which is what your question is coming off to be more. Just gonna go over the question again, which I have it written down. So your question is, what should she be doing differently, or should she be doing something differently? Or I think the way you asked it is, should I be doing something differently? Or something along those lines, because it seemed like a yes or no question to me. So we're going to see what we got. We have Ace of Swords, so that is an odd number, so that's a no. We have 8 of Wands, that's an even number, so that's a yes. Knight of Pentacles, that's a no. The Tower is a yes. And the Fool is a yes. So you got 3 yeses and 2 nos. So this would mean that it would be a yes. Should you be doing something differently? He's saying yes. However, he did provide specific guidance on, I'm not sure particularly what that question is pertaining to. Only you would know, but he did provide a little bit of more cards here just for more guidance or clarification. So we got the Dolphin Spirit, which says this and that are true. We have the Brown Bear Spirit, which says to take time out. And these came out in reverse, by the way. And then you have the Shark, which says trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. So this initially is letting me know that he's still coming back to, you need to take some time. It's kind of like he's saying, you need to take time, sweetie. You have to take time for yourself. Go have that me time. Go have that girl day, but just with you. Oh, my lights went out. I don't know if that's a sign. And he's also mentioning trust your gut. He feels like you already know, you already know the answer. He's saying yes, that you should do things differently, but he's also saying trust your gut. You know the answer is what he's trying to say. And with the Dolphin Spirit coming out saying this and that are true, with all the things that are going on, with what you're doubting right now, with him saying this and that are true, it's like whether or not you make that decision or take that next step, the decision is up to you, is what he's trying to say. But he's also trying to say trust your gut instinct, because it feels like he knows that you know already. But you're kind of asking him to be reassured, if that makes any sense. And of course, he's also mentioning that you have to take time out for yourself. Like I said, no distractions, nobody else around, just you on your own. Go do something with yourself, by yourself. You need to recollect your thoughts and kind of, how should I put this? Come back, if that makes sense. It's like you're lost and he needs you to come back. But for you to come back, you have to start taking that time with yourself, by yourself. And he also wants you to trust your gut instincts. He did say yes to your question per the deck that apparently this is his favorite deck. Because I showed him all of my decks, by the way. And when I showed him this one, I just heard him say that's effing awesome, you know? Like, I want to use this one. So again, I don't know if he has a lot of tattoos, if he likes tattoos, or the concept of tattoos and might not have any on him, but he likes them. I don't know, for some reason he likes that deck, but he said yes. We're gonna go to your next question. And for your next question, I'm getting drawn to the tattoo deck that he loves, which again, we can ask, it's more of a yes or no question too. So we can do that spread where he can say yes or he can say no, and then I can pull clarification cards. So let me just go ahead and shuffle the cards and then we'll see what you get. Okay, I'll use this one. So I did the 5-card thing again, like the last question, to see if we can get a solid yes or a no. I also asked throughout shuffling if John was happy, to see if we got anything in the audio recorder, which I'll review too and let you know. But let's see what he said. So the question is, John, are you happy? The Hangman, that would be a yes. The 5 of Wands is a no. 2 of Pentacles is a yes. The 6 of Swords is a yes. And the 4 of Wands is a yes. That's 4 yeses and 1 no. So that tells me yes, he is definitely happy. I'm very curious to see if he's going to say anything in my audio recorder. While I'm shuffling, John, can you say hello to Colleen? He was very much proud of his accomplishments, financially as well as within his family. He's very proud of his family towards the end. Within himself, like with his own demons, so to speak, it seems like he had a rough time personally. And with this card here, like I mentioned earlier, he was very much at peace when it came time for him to pass away. John, is there anything you want to tell Colleen? He wants you to stay strong. Stay strong and bold. Keep that chin up. That's it for your reading, Colleen. If you have any questions, let me know. You know where you can message me. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.